Hey there, welcome back to another mini rant. I wasn't expecting to do another one on this particular topic so soon, but somebody shared this article with me and I was blown away. Really blown away by how bad and how full of bullshit this article was. I had to do a video about it. And you'll see and hear exactly why. Because, trust me, you will not believe what you are going to hear. This is an article from Esquire.com. Esquire.com. Since when did Esquire.com become a website that talks about movies? Wasn't Esquire like a magazine that was overpriced and was just basically one of those things you might get stuck reading while you're at the doctor's office or the dentist? Was it about men's fashion? Whatever was it? Isn't it like a fashion magazine or about people who are rich or whatever? Isn't it like Forbes? Well, Forbes also has a bunch of people who are writing about movies as well. And at least the guy in Forbes, he can be kind of pretentious, but at least he knows what he's talking about. John DeVore, yes, I named him because his name deserves to be heard, because I cannot believe that this guy has a job writing for any website anywhere, especially about films, if he's saying things like what he's saying in this article. Okay, this article was published today, and this is the title of it. This is totally clickbait, and I admit it. I fell for it, but I want to point out this bullshit. This is the title. You're supposed to take this seriously, folks. This article. You're whining about the Ghostbusters reboot because you're still a child and need to grow up. The new Ghostbusters will not ruin the original or your childhood. Okay, John, what a wonderful, what a fucking amazing statement. What a profound statement you made right there. Yeah, you do know that there's people out there who don't like this movie, who don't even bring up that argument. I never once said, oh, this movie's gonna ruin my childhood. I never once said that, ever, in any of these rant videos that I've done on this topic and on this film. Never. Not once. If I did, it was just out of jest and being sarcastic. So right off the bat, you just basically just, wow, you ruined any credibility you might have had with that fucking title. So let's go on. Let's go further into this shit pile of an article here. Hi, this is a hot take about the recent viral video titled Ghostbusters 2016, No Review, I Refuse by James Rolfe. I don't know why the Angry Video Game Nerd is getting an epic ton of shit from anybody from that video. That video has nothing in it that should be considered remotely offensive or anything. He doesn't want to see it. He explains why he doesn't want to see it. What's the big deal? What is the big deal? Why is there any outrage over this? Really? Why? It's not like he said anything that was offensive. It's not like he slapped your mom in the mouth. It's not like he, told a bunch of your mama jokes. No. Wasn't sexist either. So I don't get this. So let's go. Okay. Hi, this is my hot take about a recent viral video titled Ghostbusters 2016. No review or refuse. Here's my hot take. So you repeated yourself twice. You repeated those things twice, and I've repeated myself too before. But this is like an article that was published on a website. This guy might have gotten paid for this, and he starts it off with hi. What is this, an email? Are you emailing your teacher? Hi, I'm going to be late to class today because I got sick, or because I'm busy sucking Paul Fake's dick. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's my hot take. Okay, here's my hot take. Fine, don't review the new Ghostbusters. In fact, don't go see the new Ghostbusters. Fine, he won't. He won't, and I won't either. And a lot of people won't. Good. This guy seems to have a problem with it, though. He said he goes in, some of these original Ghostbusters fans are acting with a fury I cannot fathom. It's as if Hollywood was rebooting Spotlight with the heroic and sexy Cardinal Law. You don't get it? You don't understand why people are upset? You really? Hello, McFly. Hello. You don't understand? Really? Ghostbusters is not some little movie. It's an iconic film. It was just added into the National Film Registry. This is a film that was it it was once in a lifetime type of experience where you had a somewhat original concept. Yes, it was like kind of like the Ghostbusters TV show that came before it, but they did things differently enough so it's not the same thing. It had three comedians at their peak, in their prime. It had writers and directors that were really passionate about the project. It all came together in a perfect storm that never happened again, and we are lucky that it even happened in the first place. So, you're surprised that people are upset about another soulless, lazy, half-assed cash grab reboot of Ghostbusters? You're surprised? I mean, just another one that's of Ghostbusters. It just happens to be Ghostbusters. Sorry, my bad. I'm glad that this is the first lazy half-assed cash grab of Ghostbusters. But there's been other films that have gotten that treatment lately. Total Recall, RoboCock. I'm not calling it not doing it. I'm not going there. It's RoboCock. That shit, that remake, the 2014 remake is forever RoboCock. I'm never going to call that Robo. Not no. There's no there's no cop associated with that movie. It's cock. That's all it is. Uh Sony also released that shit. Sony's responsible for that fucking abomination. So this isn't a new thing. Why are you surprised? Open your eyes. Anyway, yeah, I'm shocked that he's so surprised that people are upset at this. And also, it doesn't help either that Paul Feig and Sony have made it personal. So now a lot of people are going to be even more pissed off, and rightfully so, because Paul Feig and Sony are spewing all this vitriol at pretty much at only just a little bit, a small percentage of the people who happen to not like this idea or like the trailer. There are some sexist pricks out there who don't like this film because it has an all-female cast. And there probably are people that have given Paul Feig and Sony a lot of shit and said a lot of sexist crap. But that doesn't mean that all of us are in the same boat. And so that's why so many people are pissed off, is because it seems like Sony is trying to push this agenda. They're trying to shove this agenda down our throats. And any of us who aren't social justice warriors aren't having it. We aren't falling for it. We don't like it. We don't want this. We didn't want the film to begin with, and we definitely don't want a movie that seems like it's forcing some kind of agenda down our throats. So that doesn't help either. With Sony trying to make it, they're trying to make it seem like this is a battle of the sexes when it comes to this movie. That anyone who doesn't like it and doesn't like the trailer and the people who thumbs it down are misogynists and sexists. And that rightfully so would piss people off, especially people like myself who I'm the reason why I don't like this is not sexist. It's not misogynist. It's not misogyny. I just think it looks like shit. It's not funny. Like one of my friends said in a comment, it's not a woman thing. It's not a female thing. It's a shitty comedy thing. It's an unfunny comedy thing. It's another shitty reboot thing. That's what it is. That's why people were pissed, and rightfully so. We're mad as hell, and we're not going to take it anymore, and we're sick and tired of this shit. So here he continues. But if you are a critic who is not reviewing the movie, or even a fan who has not seen the movie, I can't let you go through life thinking you're anything other than a sentimental cheerleader. Fuck you! Fuck you, you pretentious piece of shit. Really? Why do you need to go there? Why do you have to call us out like that? We're not doing that to you. Why do you have to come out here and say that kind of shit? Why do you have to stoop that low? Really? Hey, I wouldn't be calling you I wouldn't be making fun of you, John, or giving you all kinds of shit, John, unless you They gave me a reason to do so. You gave me a reason to do so with this poorly written, poorly thought out, rambling article. Article in terms of air quotes. Definitely an air quote over the article part. Because this isn't an article. This is a hit piece. It's TMZ level reporting. This guy deserves to be fired for this. This is not reporting. This is not an article. So, a sentimental cheerleader, and a pretty angry one at that. And look, I didn't get it that you didn't like the trailer. Fair. Sometimes I look at a book's cover and put it down. Famous warnings be damned. And then he puts a link for James's video. Like, why the hell? What is up with that? There's nothing. There's nothing bad about that video. There's nothing. There's nothing about that video that should ever be considered offensive to anyone. If you think it's offensive, you're pulling shit out of your ass. You're just making shit up. You're FOSS. You have FOSS. Like a friend of mine came up with it. You're FOSS. You have full of shit syndrome. I'm calling it like it is. I'm sick of not calling it like it is. That's what I'm doing. I'm being honest here. Here's the hard truth. It hurts. Boycotting a movie because it'll ruin your memory of a Hollywood blockbuster suggests that Hollywood exists to manufacture your dreams and define your identity instead of selling tickets. I'm not boycotting it because it'll ruin my memory of a Hollywood blockbuster. I'm not boycotting it because it'll ruin my memory of Ghostbusters, the 1984 film. It won't. Why do people think that this actually will happen? Because they've seen a few comments online where people type up and say, "This ruins my childhood." Doesn't mean that everyone who has a problem with this thinks the same way. I know I don't. This won't ruin my memories of the original at all. It won't. It's just another shitty, useless reboot that I don't want. That I'm sick and fucking tired of. So, all it is just another shitty movie. Great. Oh, to sell tickets. They exist only to sell tickets. That's a pretty hollow and shallow way of thinking about films and filmmaking. That's part of it. Absolutely. But what about someone's vision? What about creativity? What about bringing audiences a story that is different and somewhat unique, taking a new spin on familiar concepts and characters? Not the same thing, but with just, okay, with an all-female cast and just it's pretty much the same. It's the same plot as the first film. It's just we got female Ghostbusters, and it takes place in New York. Same plot, same location. Couldn't even change the location to like L.A. or something. No, it's in New York again. Same. So we have Ghostbusters. People are skeptics. They don't believe in Ghostbusters. You have there's in the trailer, recent trailer, there's a shot of a news story. So what? Are they gonna have a montage with all the news people talking about the Ghostbusters? I wouldn't be surprised if they had it. I really would not be, considering how lazy this movie looks like it's going to be. So, and it's another supernatural presence or whatever, something to do with a giant tall building, and you have, instead of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man as a form of your destruction, it's the Ghostbusters logo. Tell me again why I should want to watch this movie or pay to see it, let alone anyone want to pay to see it, when they could just pop in the first Ghostbusters film and get a much better film and a much better experience. So anyway, so this is the main quote here that just blew my mind. It made me want it literally it made me feel like I was shitting my brains out of my ass because it was that fucking moronic. So he says, boycotting a movie because it'll ruin your memory of Hollywood blockbuster, blah 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 bullshit, more bullshit. Hollywood exists to manufacture your dreams and to define your identity instead of selling tickets. No, it doesn't. It wants to sell tickets, but I would think it also would exist to tell stories in a way that only films can tell them. To tell stories that are somewhat interesting and unique and different, and stories that people would want to see for years to come. The same story we already saw before, twice, in Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, just with CGI and some new cast members, and some new effects and maybe a few new little things, I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough of a difference to make it worth it. But this is the one. This is the coup de grace of bullshit right here. Hollywood is a risky business. Really, and an insane business. And it likes safe bets. There is no safer bet than trying to recapture lightning in a bottle and to reproduce what has been made before and successfully. Did I seriously just read that? That is literally one of the dumbest things I have ever read. You get no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Because seriously, what the fuck is that? Oh, the safe bet is to recapture lightning in a bottle? So the safe bet is to do something that's all pretty much impossible. What? Where did this guy did this guy graduate from college? Where hey John, how did you get this job? I really want to know. How did you get this job? Because you definitely don't deserve it. And if you got paid for this, we all got ripped off. The money that you got paid for this could definitely be put to better use. Like hiring somebody who could actually, I don't know, write an article that isn't full of stupid shit like this. Capturing lightning in a bottle, again, is the best idea. What the fuck? That's so stupid. It's the absolute, it makes no logical sense. It drives me nuts that this exists. An article with some guy saying, recapturing lightning in a bottle is the safest bet. No, it isn't. It's never a safe bet. Hollywood is a risky business. Really? It is? Nowadays? I don't think it's a risky business anymore because you can just churn out a reboot or a sequel and it'll make tons of money. You don't have to put that much effort into it. Michael Bay can just do another movie, another Transformers film, regardless of whether or not people don't happen to like it or like the concept or hate the trailer, and it'll make over $1 billion worldwide. The last Fast and the Furious film, which is the 7th film in the franchise, made over $1 billion worldwide. Tell me again why Hollywood making films in Hollywood is a risky business, because it isn't anymore. It might have been in the 70s when you had directors who had like bold visions and actually took risks, but not anymore. It's far from that. It's not a risky business anymore. The closest it gets to a risky business is the movie Risky Business, which I'm still surprised they haven't remade that already. So then he continues, it's a miracle good movies ever get made, and oftentimes those movies are paid for by remakes and reboots. What the fuck is that? It's a miracle good movies ever get made. Oh, so I should be okay with these shitty half-ass reboots and remakes because it's a miracle that there's a good movie. It's not a miracle. Why are you thinking that good movies are like really rare? Like it's finding a diamond in the rough or a needle in the haystack. It's not. It's harder nowadays, if you ask me, to find genuinely good movies. You know, at least ones that I really, really like a lot of the films that I like from one year, you know, from the years in the 80s, from the 80s, the 70s, and the early 90s, especially in the horror genre. But it's not like I can't find a good one. I mean, Deadpool came out. That's a good one. That's a great film, if you ask me. That came out this year. It's not that hard. It's not a miracle that good movies are made. Jeez, what a fucking nihilistic way to look at films today. I mean, honestly, I'm not even that. I don't even have that much of a nihilistic feeling. I'm not even. I don't even look at it like that. I have more hope for Hollywood than this guy. At least for the independent genre. Definitely, you look in the independents, especially in the horror genre, you can find a lot of good ones. It's not that hard. You just have to look. And they're paid for by remakes and reboots? What the fuck is that? Seriously, what the fuck? They're paid for by remakes and reboots? Yeah, remakes and reboots. If you're talking about remakes specifically, the last really truly successful one was Karate Kid. And that was years ago. Most of these remakes don't make much money. They flop. They tank in the box office. They don't pay for anything. What are you talking about? What are you smoking? Saying that they're paid for, good movies are paid for by remakes and reboots. What the fuck is that? I just While we're on the topic, there's no difference between a remake and a reboot. In fact, a reboot is just a reboot of the term remake. Yeah, I know that. That's why I don't like it. It's just reboot and remake are the same fucking thing. They don't want to use remake anymore because it's got a negative annotation associated with it, which is understandable. So they come up with some new word to try to make it sound like it's not as bad, but it's still the same fucking thing. It's a reboot or a backdoor reboot, which is basically just a remake. It's not some genius concept you're throwing out there. Here's a quote here that he throws here, trying to sound really smart. Art is the most ancient of con jobs, a disreputable way to make a living, but it can really pay out if done right. What the fuck does that have to do with the Ghostbusters movie? What does that have to do with James Rolfe's video? Absolutely fucking nothing! Can we continue? Yes, the movie industry is emotionally manipulating you. No, it isn't. That's how they get their money. It's called art. The most ancient of con jobs. It's a disreputable way to make a living, but it can really pay out if done right. Art is subjective, just like movies. I don't understand this. It's a con job? Yeah, it's a con job. The arrangement is simple. If you give money and in return they give you an emotion you really don't have to work for, or varying degrees of quality. What the fuck is this guy? What drugs did this guy smoke while he was writing this shit? Oh, this is such a bad article. It gives me a fucking headache. It makes me want to vomit. It really does. Oh, man. Wow. I'm just trying to make sense of this. The arrangement is simple. You give money, and in return, they give you an emotion you really don't have to work for varying degrees of quality. What the fuck are you talking about? Art is subjective. It's in the eye of the beholder. I don't have to pay for Jackson Pollock's splatter paintings if I don't want to. I can have my own personal opinion on whether or not I think that's art or whether or not that's worth paying for. I don't have to pay for that type of art, especially if I don't like it. What are you talking about giving money? How does this work if I don't give money? And in return, they give you an emotion you don't really have to work for, and for varying degrees of quality. I don't understand this fucking concept. Then he just goes further into just pet shit insanity and stupidity here. Your memory of Ghostbusters is not a real memory. What the fuck? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be going WTF throughout this entire fucking video, folks. What the fuck? Ghostbusters is not a real memory? Oh, my memory of Ghostbusters is not a real memory. Yeah, when I saw that movie and I watched it on a taped VHS that my mom taped off of HBO, and I watched it multiple times as a kid, and I really enjoyed it, and it's not a real memory? Fuck off! I remember it. So it's a memory. Just like I'm gonna remember this shitty horse shit of an article. This fucking what a fucking hack. God. Damn it. Where's the aspirin? Fuck. And he continues, it is you replaying a commercial in your mind, a commercial that triggers brain chemicals that make you feel the same way as memories of your grandfather's rough hands pushing you on a swing. What the fuck does my grandfather's rough hands have to do with my memory of Ghostbusters? Anything, it probably just the same thing. It's a commercial? How can it be a commercial if I saw the film years after its release? How is it a commercial? How am I replaying a commercial in my fucking mind about Ghostbusters? When I watch the movie and I really, when it comes to remembering memories I have associated with watching the film. How does this make any sense? It's because it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. That's why. Then he continues, the upcoming reboot of Ghostbusters will not ruin the original Ghostbusters because that classic comedy is a solid, funny movie. The 2016 version of the movie is not traveling back in time to murder the 1984 version. Your childhood is safe and strangely unremarkable. I wonder, I think this guy had a shitty childhood. I really do. I really do. If he's just pointing out as people's childhood as just being unremarkable. How shitty was your childhood, John? Where did your grandfather touch you with those rough hands? Wow. Again, brings up that same tired bullshit argument that barely nobody fucking has. Ghostbusters, the 2016 version is gonna ruin the original. No, it's not. It's not gonna ruin it. It's just gonna it's just gonna ruin people's time. It's gonna ruin my asshole because it's gonna suck so much. Here he continues. Okay, a reboot is evidence that the source material is an enduring cultural artifact. James Bond survived Die Another Day, and that incarnation of the timeless handsome sociopath featured an invisible car. So then he just goes in and basically throws in a sociopath. Which why are you what? Why are you attacking James Bond now? Why are you being like, James Bond is a sociopath? What the fuck does James Bond being a sociopath have to do with this? Why did you have to throw that in there? Features an invisible car, and he repeats it. An invisible car! In case you didn't get it the first time. And then he goes and, of course, brings up Batman and Robin. Batman's nipples did not scuttle the Dark Knight's box office reign. That doesn't make any sense, because Batman Begins came before the Dark Knight. If it wasn't for Batman Begins and its success, you wouldn't have the Dark Knight. Even Regal Ferret, Benedict Cumberbatch's horrible con couldn't ruin Gene Roddenberry's utopian science fiction love letter to human potential. What are you saying here? You're saying nothing. You're just blah 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 blah. Might as well just be the Charlie Brown teacher. Teacher just going wah 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 wah. And then he brings up consider Godzilla as another example. They make movies about the rampaging lizard gorilla until the nukes fall and the actual Godzilla is born. Psycho? Forget the Gus Van Sant directed groaner starring Vince Vaughn and Anne Heche. There's a popular and hilariously trashy TV show prequel to Psycho. A prequel! And yet, if you were to watch Psycho right now, I bet you'd still thrilled at how creepy and inventive and weird it still happens to be. Actually, I don't, because I'm not the biggest fan of the film. So, don't speak for me. Please. You're bad at it. Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes is madness. Monkey Basketball! But they didn't stop the production of 2 excellent prequels meant to reboot an entire series later. I disagree with the excellent thing associated with those films, but okay. It's my opinion. Is it possible the original Planet of the Apes is still a hoot with Rod Serling's zinger at the end? Still pretty fresh? Yes, believe. Yes, believe? What? Are you quoting the fucking Cher song here? I don't know. That didn't even make any sense. Like most of this fucking article. Then he quotes himself again. Every year, there are hundreds of shitty productions of Hamlet all across the world. You know what? Hamlet survives. Yeah, compare Ghostbusters to Hamlet. Makes no sense. Those two cannot be... They're two totally different types of things. A film is a completely different medium than a play. It really is. I've seen this argument before that people have had. Oh, all these shitty versions of plays still happen, but so it's the same as film. No, it's not. The film is a completely different medium than a play. They're not the same. And with Hamlet, it's still the same. It's the same script that they've used for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. This isn't a recreation of. It's not a. Nobody's doing a reboot of Hamlet that just recasts the entire cast as different genders and then just changes up a few things, puts it in modern day, and then here you go. It's the same story. It's Hamlet. It's the same story, but we just changed a few things up. How does that prove your point? How does that make what you're saying good or better? I don't understand that. Oh, so there's so many shitty versions of one thing. That's a good thing? That we should be okay with that? Oh, just because the original is there, all these other shitty versions of it are fine. I don't know about you, but I don't think that way. How about we have less shitty versions of one thing? How about that? Not more. So he's like, let us turn our attention to one of the greatest works of Western literature, Hamlet. Every year there are hundreds of shitty productions of Hamlet all across the world, and you know what? Hamlet survives. Of course it can, because it's Hamlet. It survived for generations. It is a great literary work. It is. No one's questioning whether or not Hamlet will survive. We know it will. Doesn't mean we want shitty productions of Hamlet. I know I don't. And I know a lot of other people who are fans of Hamlet don't want shitty productions of Hamlet either. So he's like, Ghostbusters can take a reboot. Ghostbusters can take 20 reboots. No! No, it can't! And it shouldn't either! I don't want nobody, 20 reboots of one thing? No! Not Ghostbusters, not anything. 20 reboots of anything is too many fucking reboots. Why? Why would you ever want to remake something 20 fucking times? And when you do Hamlet and you're doing a shitty production of it, it's not a remake of Hamlet. It's not even a reboot of Hamlet. It's just a production of Hamlet with a different cast than the one that first performed it way back when. So, what's your point? But he continues, they could produce a sassy teenage Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters the Goats instead of ghosts. Please, no. Why? Why the fuck would you want that? Michael Bay could direct a nonsensical reboot of Ghostbusters. There's just 2 hours of poorly edited explosions, and the original Ghostbusters is still going to be great. Yeah, it is. But that's beside the point. That's beside the point. It doesn't automatically mean that those other shitty reboots that you just mentioned that could happen are worth making, are worth it, or should be made. This argument is shit. And he continues, the original Ghostbusters is just an early 80s special effects comedy vehicle for 3 funny famous men. I thought it was more than that, but okay. It's a great vehicle for comic actors. The new Ghostbusters is just that, a vehicle for funny women who starred in hit movies. Then why aren't they funny in the trailers for this movie? Really? Where's the funny? Where's the comedy? Why aren't they funny? Yes, Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy have starred in hit movies. That's not me blow-evading. That's just the market talking. Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's a lot of people starring in hit movies. Doesn't mean we should automatically just throw them into a reboot of a popular franchise, a movie from a popular franchise, just because, oh, they made money. Oh, they had made films that made money. There needs to be more to it than that. And Kate McKinnon and Leslie Jones are 2 of the funniest performers that hit the YouTube series Saturday Night Live. Did he seriously call Saturday Night Live a YouTube series? Fire this fucker! Fire him! Now! Hey, John! John boy! You're fired! You're fired! A YouTube series? Do your fucking research. SNL is not a YouTube series. It's a long-running TV show that's been on NBC for years. And what is funny about Leslie Jones? I can see that about Kate McKinnon, but not Leslie Jones. That's just me personally. He's like, you know that show. It's an alma mater of Venkman and Stance. I swear I'm going to hunt down the first rodent who tweets to me about women not being funny, and I'm going to call their mommy and tell them what a bad boy they're being. What the fuck is this? What is this? What is this? What does that have to do with anything? Yeah, this isn't about women in general. This is about the cast in this film, and they haven't shown me anything that they're funny. Yes, women can be funny. They can be. They can be hilarious. Kristen Wiig can be funny. Melissa McCarthy can be funny. I've seen it. Kate McKinnon can be funny. I've seen it before. I don't know yet if Leslie Jones can be funny because I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen any of these trailers yet. But I know those other 3 can be funny and hilarious. But not in the trailers for this movie. I didn't laugh once at any joke, at any time, in any of these trailers. So that's why I'm saying they're not funny. Because they're not funny in this movie, in these trailers, from what I've seen. It's not funny. It isn't. I'm not going to sit here and lie and be like, oh, yeah, it's It's funny. Just because these women can be funny, then I'll just fake laugh at jokes that I don't find I don't fucking get it. I don't understand this shit. Makes my head hurt. Then this is the last paragraph, and then I'm done. I know it's a long video. It's not really a mini rant. It's a long rant. Maybe I'll call it something else. I don't know. Bullshit alert or something. You know, God. Here we get finishing this up. Speaking of legions of emotionally distraught internet gutter snipes clogging comment sections with a righteous rage. Like you're doing any better here. You're not. You're not. You're doing the same thing. And not everyone who leaves comments is a bunch of righteous, women-hating assholes. You could also not want to see the new Ghostbusters because you're a little sexist. Really? Yeah, that is a possibility. That doesn't mean that that's the only possibility. First of all, an all-female Ghostbusters next, affordable, harassment-free access to reproductive health care for all. I don't know. First, an all-female Ghostbusters. Next, affordable, harassment-free access, reproductive health care for all. I don't know what the fuck that... What? Well, I know many of you claim that it's not true, but look into your bro heart. No. Bro heart? What the fuck is a bro heart? Maybe a little? Well, keep fighting for your truth, and I wish you and Donald Trump the best of luck in November. Fuck Trump and fuck you. But do not give up hope. Hollywood may yet greenlight an all-male reboot of Steel Magnolias. How about no? Just so you can have something that was never yours, because Lord knows us men don't have enough of everything. That's it. That's how he ends this fucking article. What? What is this shit? No guy out here sitting here like, yeah, you know what I really want? I want an all-male reboot of Steel Magnolias. No, we don't. Fuck off. Just so you can have something that was never yours, because Lord knows men don't have enough of anything. Everything. I don't fucking get what his point is here. So basically, he's just coming up to the defense of this movie like a fucking white knight. Like this movie's a princess that needs to be rescued by a bunch of misogynist, women-hating townsfolk with torches. But in reality, there's like maybe a couple women-hating misogynist guys with torches and just a couple guys just hanging out, not doing anything, just being indifferent, or just being like, I don't like it. I'm not going to see it. And this guy's thinking that everyone is a bunch of, ooh, this movie sucks, boo, women suck, women can't be funny. No, not everyone is doing that. You need to check yourself somewhere, man. You need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, John. Seriously. Check yourself into a psych ward, whatever comes first. Because, she's fucking Christ, man. This is some of the craziest shit I've ever read. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Wow. Just wow. And hopefully we don't see any more articles from this guy, because somebody take him away from the keyboard, because really he's dangerous. Fuck's sake. And he's also he doesn't know what he's talking about. He has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Anyway, I'm done. Thanks.